Welcome to the art project. I did a little simple drawing today and wanted to share some stuff with you. But before I do, let me remind you to, if you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it on your favorite social media platform if you want to. So what I want to talk to you about a little bit is copying, okay? Plagiarism, that sort of thing. There's a lot of concern about it in our world, obviously, and for good reason. But I'd like to first point out that what I'm doing here in this drawing started out last night as a way of just exercising my abilities and learning and growing. I'll also point out that what I decided to do is almost okay, maybe not really almost, but it's copying off of another artist named Peter Draws. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a YouTuber. His name is Peter Draws, and he is really awesome. He's really good at the drawings and the doodles that he does. And about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, I came across his YouTube channel, and I was totally amazed. I was blown away. I loved his work. I loved his ability to just sit down and draw and enjoy the process of drawing. And if you listen to his video, I think you'll see that this is a lot of what he's about. He just enjoys drawing. He loves the feel of pen and pencil being dragged across the paper, and it's just he does great work. So what you see here in this video is sort of me not really attempting to draw like Peter draws, but using the same sort of mentality, I think. Getting paper out, getting my pen out, and starting to draw. Well, when you don't really know what to draw to begin with, when you don't have an idea to begin with, that doesn't mean you shouldn't draw. This is the way you come up with the ideas, is by putting pen to paper. As you are making marks, ideas will start to come to you. So I got this quote that I absolutely love that I use a lot from Chuck Close, and I'm kind of ad-libbing. This is not word for word, but basically ideas come out of the process. They come out of the work itself. That might be closer than I think to what he actually says. And it's true. Like when you start working, you may not know what you want to do. You may not know what you want to draw, but as soon as you start putting pen to paper, ideas will start to flow, and the next mark that you make is a result of the idea that you had from the previous mark that you made. So anyway, I can't say enough really about that. You just have to, even if you don't feel comfortable drawing, you won't feel comfortable drawing until you are in it for a while, kind of like getting in the pool, when it's cold. At first it's really uncomfortable, but the longer you're in there, the better you get at it, and the more your body acclimates to the temperature. And it's the same thing with drawing. But I told you earlier in the video that what I really wanted to talk about was plagiarism or copying. And this is appropriate for a couple of different reasons. One, obviously, like I said, this particular drawing that I'm doing is inspired by Peter Draws. And I don't necessarily want anybody to think, that I'm copying straight from Peter Draws. If you look at Peter Draws' work, I'm not doing near as good as he does, and our imagery and our marks are not quite the same, although there's probably a lot of similarities in this picture that I'm doing. He has a fantastic way of just making marks that are totally abstract, but yet tangible. And I have a tendency to go from the abstract, like I've done in here. I've done swirls and circles and stuff that had no point, and pretty soon got into making lightning bolts and numbers and lollipops and things that have names. So just a little bit of difference there. But Austin Kleon wrote a book called Still Like an Artist. I recommend that book too if you haven't read it. And the idea, I think, behind his book is that we all get our ideas from somewhere. So my idea here was from Peter Draws. But I also read in a book called The Artist Way that each and every one of us have our own energy, our own life's energy, and that energy is unique as our fingerprint. And even if you are taking an idea from someone else, when you execute it, as long as you're not trying to forge something specifically, you take the idea and you start drawing it or painting it, you sort of make it your own. You develop it in a different way. And it is your own style and energy and background and environment and what's the word I'm looking for? Your history, your education that comes out and makes it your own, even though it may be similar in style to someone else's. So me and my wife were having this conversation this morning about doing videos. She's a potter, and she makes some fabulous pottery, coffee mugs and vases and so on. And so she also has an Instagram, and she basically posts pictures of her pottery on her Instagram page from time to time. And when she does, well, obviously she sees other people's Instagram stuff. And so she's following some different people, and some of the people that she's following, they also make pottery, and they make little pottery videos. So she was thinking about doing the same thing, but I think part of her concern and my concern at some point was that we might be copying off of someone else. So what I told her, and what I think is good information and good advice, is this. Even if you try and do something that somebody else has already done before, because you are you and you are an individual and you don't have the same skill set exactly the way theirs is, yours is going to automatically be different. Okay? Automatically be different. Furthermore, in the world that we live in, we have thousands upon thousands, millions of different artists all over the world. Some that draw, some that paint, some that make pottery. And so even if we had a group of 1,000 different potters, they're spread out all over the world. And even though they may use some of the same techniques, their stuff is a little bit different. But not only that, but someone knows, we'll call him Frank, all right, over in Germany, and people know Frank is the potter, and they watch Frank's pottery, and maybe Frank has this big following of people who like to watch him make pottery, or like to see the pottery that he makes, or even buys the pottery that he makes, and so on. But my wife over here in South Mississippi doesn't have that same following. And so even if she made videos or pottery exactly like Frank's, it would still get two different clientele. Even in the small world that we live in, that is the world that is connected by the internet in so many ways, there is still a really good possibility that a person who appreciates Frank's pottery and watches his videos will never see my wife's pottery or her videos, and the same the other way around. Someone who sees my wife's pottery and follows her may never see Frank's. And so even though we live like in this small world, we still have like this incredibly deep internet. So I guess my point is, number one, your artwork, even if you kind of steal an idea from somebody else, when you execute your idea, it's going to be different, just because you are different. And the second thing is that even though we live in this small world where information travels fast, for some reason we still have our independent viewers, our independent clientele, if you will. We have people who see our work and know us and that we can interact with, and Frank all the way across the world has his. And so just do it. Don't be so afraid of copying somebody else's work that you don't do your own work, or that you don't do work. If you see an idea that you like, try that idea out. There's so many. That's what these ideas on the internet are for. Most everybody, I think, that puts their information, their ideas, their pottery, their art, their drawings, their paintings, the reason they make a YouTube video of it is to share it with you and hopefully inspire you to make your own stuff. And so even if you were to copy what I've got right here, it's not going to be exactly the same. unless you just like really, really, really try to forge my work, it's going to come out a little bit different. And I think it's when you start trying to forge and gain, I don't know, success financially or otherwise off of somebody else's work, that's when it's wrong. That's when it's plagiarism, really. But as long as, so you see my lightning bolt right there. You could draw a lightning bolt, looks just like my lightning bolt. First of all, I don't even care about it. Like lightning bolts are not patented. It's not like I'm the only one that's allowed to draw lightning bolts. So, draw a lightning bolt if you want to. I guarantee you, your lightning bolt is going to look different than my lightning bolt. And so, just do it. I think that's almost all I've got. I can't think of anything else to add to that. If you have any ideas or suggestions about what I just said, please leave them in the comments down below. I would love to hear them. If you have a YouTube channel, please, by all means, put a link to it in the comments down below. I mean, specifically art-related YouTube channels. I would love to see some of them, see some of your work, and obviously get some ideas and some inspiration, some encouragement from you. I hope you got some ideas, some inspiration, and some encouragement from me. Please go over and check out Peter Draws. It is pretty awesome. He's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and I think if you look at my other videos, you'll see that I'm not trying to necessarily be like Peter Draws. I was inspired and encouraged and motivated by Peter Draws. He does awesome work, and if I was trying to copy him and steal his stuff, I wouldn't even mention his name in my video. Let you just think I'm the only one. But he does great stuff, so go check him out. If you are an art student, I hope this video was helpful for you in understanding what it is to like copy or not copy, plagiarize versus inspiration. All right, there's a big difference between plagiarism and inspiration, and you can look at somebody's work and you can even try and copy it, and that's okay so long as you don't try and use it and call it your own, so to speak. So anyway, all right, I've gone on long enough. I have talked and talked and talked. Give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Get you a cup of coffee. Go out to your studio. Oh, if you don't have a studio, make you a studio. Your kitchen table is all you need. Or put a couple of nails in the wall, or a couple of nails in the in your closet door, and put your canvas up on there and use that. But go out to your studio, make you a studio. Let that be something you do today, because art is great. It's incredibly therapeutic. It'll make you feel better about yourself. It'll help you to quiet your soul and quiet your mind, and those are good things. So there's my picture. Go and look at how much better Peter Draws' pictures are than mine. Thanks for watching. Go make some art.